Okay. Dear students, sorry for the inconveniences caused in part 19. Today we are going for part 20 only directly. So the problem, the part 19 was due to some technical problem, the last moment it was cut off. Okay. However, I completed de Broglie equation. I explained what is equation. I explained the properties, and also I explained what is the meaning of delta, H and rho. Now, problem may be asked on this, very simple problems will be there. Let me solve one problem on this. Okay, because more problems I will solve afterwards, but one problem, how this de Broglie equation can be dealt with. So take one simple problem I am going to solve here, that is calculate. Okay. So problem will be, what will be the wavelength? What will be the wavelength? What will be the wavelength? Okay, of a ball of mass 0.1 kg, moving with velocity 10 meter per second. Okay. Dear students, what are the things given to you here? First you check up. Ball is a matter. I hope you know very well. Mass is given. This is your mass, m is given. And moving with the velocity, so that is v is given. This is your v. So m is given, phi is given, h you know already, and wavelength can be calculated. So simple problem will be there. De Broglie equation, it is a very simple relation, but now you have to use this equation, not this, because momentum is not given. If momentum is given directly, then you would have been used directly this. But since mass and velocity are given separately, so this can be solved just maybe for 2 mass problem. So solution will be very simple. From de Broglie equation, so which type of equation you have to select? It depends upon the problem. If you mark already what are the things given to you, so mass is given, velocity is given, what is asked, what will be the wavelength. So lambda is asked, the value of lambda is present, a beautiful question mark, then we are going to calculate it afterwards. From de Broglie equation, lambda will be equal to h divided by m into v, and here everything is given to you. Here m is equal to 0.1 kg given, phi is equal to how much? 10 meter per second, and lambda is equal to how much? A beautiful question mark like you, because that only we have to calculate. Therefore, lambda will be equal to 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second divided by, okay, mass into velocity, 0.1 kg mass, and velocity is 10 meter per second. 10 meter per second. So it is so easy problem. The value will be lambda is equal to 0.1 means 1 upon 10, 10, 10 cancel each other, and we get 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34. Now unit will change, it will be meter. Okay, because wavelength is always in meter. So now, from where this meter will come, you have to remember, what you have to remember, but joule is equal to, the value of joule is kg meter square per second square. Per second square. Hence, if you substitute the value of J here, if you substitute the value of J here, so it will be kg meter square second to the power of minus 2 and second. Okay? So, joule second, the joules second cancels with this 1, this per second cancels with this is totally going to cancel, kg will cancel with kg, and meter square will cancel with 1 meter here, so the meter remains here. Okay? The meter remains here. So you have to remember the value of joule is kg meter square, okay, yes, to the power of second to the power of minus 2. If you can't remember that, blindly you can write the unit of wavelength, already I told you, will be in meter. Simply you can write it in meter if you don't want to fight with the units. Okay, if you don't want to fight with the units, forget it. Wavelength will be in meter, you can write directly meter. But remember, this is not Planck's constant. The value seems to be same, but it was joule second here, it is here the wavelength of the, and here 0.1 means 1 upon 10, 1 upon 10, this 10 cancels, so you have nothing to do in this problem. Just 2 marks if they are going to ask in the examination, 1 mark will be given for this. 1 mark for writing de Broglie equation and 1 mark for substitution and simplification. So don't fear to touch the problem, my dear students, because if you just see it, if you dare to solve it, there will be nothing in the problem. Problem is not at all a problem. If you write what are the things given, what is asked, and which equation have to use properly. If once that equation is going to be written, then substitute the values and you will get. I am trying my level best to make your problems, okay, problemless. Okay, so problemless, I am trying my level best. Even then, if you come across any problem, you are welcome to ask. So next we are going for another important principle which gave a fight or which gave a blow, okay, which gave a blow to your Bohr model. Okay, Bohr model was also rejected afterwards because of another scientist who is going to say something for you, and that is Heisenberg. Another scientist came. So one scientist proved wrong another scientist, because in atomic model, Thomson model was rejected because of Rutherford. Thomson model was not based upon experiment. Rutherford experimentally proved this, and hence Thomson model was failed. When Rutherford practically proved only nucleus, concentrated on nucleus of atom. He couldn't concentrate on electron position. Bohr tried sincerely to give the position, energy and everything that's required for the position of electron in terms of orbits or circular paths. But this was proved to be wrong because of another scientist who came in the way, that is Heisenberg. Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Another name of the scientist, it is Heisenberg, or Heisenberg's if you want, uncertainty. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Tattva. Okay? Uncertainty. Heisenberg uncertainty principle. This is going to disprove the existence of orbits. And this is given by delta x into delta px, same momentum, okay, is greater or equal, but never less, okay, h upon 4 pi. So this is your Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Okay? So what he said then, what was his statement? His statement was, we cannot find uncertainty. It is uncertain. We cannot find, okay, two things at the same time. That was the concept of him. That means, if you want to know the exact position of a substance, it should not be moving. Suppose if you want to study a bus in a proper way, if the bus is standing without moving, we can study A to Z about it. And if the bus is moving, we cannot tell details about that portion, but only we can see the velocity. So what he said, the velocity and the position, that is to exact position and exact velocity of anything cannot be determined at the same time. This was his argument, or this was his thought. So what he said, Heisenberg uncertainty principle, okay, states that, what it states that he will start with it is impossible. It is impossible. Asadhya, sadhyana illa. It is impossible, okay, to determine. It is impossible to determine. It is impossible to determine two things. Determine the exact, accurate, the exact position that we are going to take afterwards as delta x, exact position. It is impossible to determine, okay, the exact position and exact momentum, which is denoted by, okay, rho x actually. So x is a particle. Okay, exact position and exact momentum. How? At the same time. simultaneously. This is also equally important, simultaneously, at the same time. That means while you are eating, you cannot talk. Eating also continuously and talking also continuously, not possible, okay? Because you are going to get in trouble if you are eating something with talking, okay? So simultaneously, I repeat once again, what the statement said, it is impossible to determine the exact position and exact momentum simultaneously of a microscopic particle like electron microscopic particle like electron with certainty and accuracy. So this was his statement. So 100% we cannot judge the momentum and position both at the same time. So I repeat last time, it is impossible. Heisenberg uncertainty principle states that it is impossible to determine the exact position and exact momentum simultaneously of a microscopic particle like electron with certainty and accuracy. ನೀವು ಅಜಮಾಸ್ ಪಂಚರ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಬಾಯಾಗ ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಾಯಾಗ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲದಾಗ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಹಂಗೆ ಬಾಯಾಗ ಏನೋ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಮಾತಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈ ಸೆಡ್. Two things cannot be done at the same time with accuracy and with certainty. So this was the statement given by Heisenberg. He said it is impossible to determine the exact position and exact momentum simultaneously, means at the same time, of a microscopic particle like electron. Remember, this is microscopic, not applicable for macroscopic, okay, with certainty and accuracy. So they will ask you, define uncertainty principle or state Heisenberg uncertainty principle and give mathematical expression. Then mathematically expression, if you want, mathematically, if X is a microscopic particle, like electron, microscopic particle like electron, then what it says, delta X into delta Px or delta rho x, this is momentum, is not accurate. It may be greater than or equal to. It is uncertain. This symbol shows it is uncertain, and this value will be equal to h upon 4 pi. h upon 4 pi. Okay? This was the mathematical representation given for uncertainty principle. As usual, fair delta x is exact position is exact position of the particle. Delta px is exact momentum, mass into velocity is exact momentum of particle, if you want, exact position of particle, and exact momentum of particle. And as usual, your h is a Planck's constant. Same, your Planck constant will come many times. H is a Planck's constant, and pi you know very well in mathematics, that is 3.14 or 22/7. That is coming from mathematics. Okay? This was the uncertainty principle given by Heisenberg. Okay? So what he said that it is impossible, okay, it is impossible, okay, it is impossible to determine the exact position delta x and exact momentum px. I'm sorry, it should be delta px. Sorry, okay. Delta px simultaneously of a microscopic particle like electron with certainty and accuracy. And if you give mathematical expression of Heisenberg uncertainty law, then you have to write delta x into delta px is more than or equal to h upon 4 pi. Then you should write where delta x is exact position of the particle, delta rho x is momentum of the particle, and h is a Planck's constant, and pi you know already. Okay? Now, what are the comments on this? The comments on this were two. The first one was, what are the observations? The observations is, first observation, or just you remember, two observations, okay, or what he said. First one was, this principle is not applicable for macroscopic, not applicable for macroscopic particles. As usual, microscopic particles, that is, what do you mean by macro? Macro means large, okay? Particles, that is large mass particles. It's applicable only for छोटे particles like electron and others. Okay? And this principle is applicable only for microscopic particles like electron and subatomic particles. Actually, atom itself is a small, subatomic means still smaller. Subatomic particles. Once again, the same problem, the exact position multiplied by exact momentum. Once again, mass will come here. I will show it to you. And the third point, okay, and I think it's more than sufficient for you. It's applicable only for macroscope, not applicable for macroscopic, but applicable only for microscopic. Okay, particles like atoms. And then another form of this momentum or uncertainty principle can be written in this way. As you know very well, momentum of particle, same repetition, momentum of particle, momentum is equal to mass into velocity. Mass into velocity. Okay, if a particle is taken, its mass remains constant, there will be no change in mass. And if you are going to take x as a particle, the velocity will be Vx. The velocity will be Vx. Therefore, your momentum, that is delta Px will be equal to delta Vx into m, or delta m into Vx, whatever you. Therefore, you will get here, if you change this, it will become delta Vx, and here it becomes m. I am going to change that m here. So if you first substitute here, delta x, delta Px, Vx into m, delta Vx remains here, m can be transferred here. So once again, this uncertainty is inversely proportional to mass and hence applicable only for microscopic particles but not for macroscopic particles. And this you can take, if you are going to confuse it with this, delta Px will be equal to delta m into Vx. Okay, m being constant, okay, because it is a mass of particle, it can be taken that side, and change in velocity remains as it is, and where delta Vx is, okay, exact velocity, delta Px, delta x will be exact position. So this is about your uncertainty principle, and next we are going for what is the importance of uncertainty principle, Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So there are two important applications of this uncertainty principle. First, it is going to say that orbits cannot be present. As your Bohr has already created orbits, those orbits is not possible practically. I will explain why and how in my part 21. So this uncertainty principle brought new things in chemistry, that is we are going from orbits to orbitals. So the credit of bringing orbitals in place of orbit comes to your Heisenberg. Okay, I will continue in part 21. Thank you, my dear students.